Hello everyone, I'm Masaki. I miss you very much, but please stay safe and see you soon. Please enjoy our collection.
Hello everyone, I'm Kenneth. So I imagine that everybody is under the quite tough situation so far, but I hope all of you are well. So we have made the decision of the video presentation of new collection on YouTube. Because of this situation, please have a look at the video and please let us know if you need any shade cards and swatches. We make a shipment immediately. So regarding the sales condition of new collection, we have made it more simple and easy. Most of the security is a stock service, so we can make a shipment immediately for sample orders. And if you need any special colors, we can make it very quickly. We're gonna try it. So anyway, so please enjoy our new collection. Let's have a look. So first of all, let's have a look at the collection card. And let me introduce you our sales condition first. It's very simple and easy to remember. So our minimum is just 1 kilo in case of our stock colors. And if you need your special colors, we need just 6 kilo as a minimum order quantity. And in case of surcharge, so there's no surcharge at all. So just remember it. Then let's have a look here. So first of all, there's Aube fancy yarns here. And next one is cotton fancy yarns here. And mocci brothers. And some mohairs. And the cotton. This part is the cotton also. And Japanese papers. And the alpaca linen, the Slav yarn, the silk yarn. And the polyester brothers, and fancy yarns of the synthetic fibers, so it's like woven tapes, chenille, and metallic yarns. At first, it's harmony. This is the colors for stock service, and let me introduce you their harmony. So first of all, harmony is made of Japanese paper yarn and wool, and we have the patent of this spinning technology. So there's a very fine Japanese paper yarn inside as a core, and the wool fiber is wrapped on it. So you don't touch the Japanese paper. However, you feel something Japanese paper. There's a great combination between the lightness and strong texture of Japanese paper and softness of wool. So it would be the much lighter and stronger texture than 100% merino. And hands feels really smooth and soft because of the raw material of wood. At the same time, you feel something strong texture because of Japanese papers. So Japanese paper is very light and it has strong texture. However, it is a little bit dry. Sometimes you feel the harsh. So that's why we wrap the wool fiber on it. So the great point of this yarn is it will appear in case of these stitches. It is a combination between the harmony and cut wave and in half cardigan stitches. So as you can see, each stitch is very visible and each stitch stands up very well. So it really looks nicer than 1% merino wool half cardigan stitches. And it's going to be very masculine look as well. However, it can be very lightweight after you knit. It is knitted in a 3 gauge. However, please try. Anyway, so please touch and feel how it is. And the next stitches is this one. So we use the harmony and Reine Ⅱ silk mohairs. So it's in the plating stitches and links. As you can see, the blue color is from the Reine Ⅱ and white color comes from the harmony. So in this case, it will be much smoother hands feel, so our silk mohair makes everything smoother. However, it still keeps the strong texture of harmony. In case of the links and the plating stitches, so we use the Reine Ⅱ as a back beds here also. So you feel mostly the silk mohair only. So it's really smooth and soft. However, it has strong texture of harmony because of Japanese paper. So please try this combination also. Next one is Masdevallia. And this is the colors, and all colors available, includes the solid colors and melange colors here. And let's have a look at the stitches. Masdevallia is a single 40 and high twisted machine washable wool So in case of single 40, so as you can see, can you see the difference between the navy part and white part? So in case of single yarn, so it doesn't go straight, it torque on the panel, it twists on the panel. So this navy part goes on Z twist, and the white part goes in a different way, opposite way, S twist. And Z, S, Z, S, Z, S. And the navy part is knitted in the one end, and the white part is knitted in the two ends. That's why the navy part looks more sheared. So the great point of this yarn is the hands feel. It's very dry, so it can be used in spring, summer, and beginning autumn. I mean pre-fall collections, or even in the winter collection. Depends on how you use. But if you don't like these characters, I can propose you in this way. And this is links and links stitches and plating. Can you see that? If you use a front bed and back beds at the same times, it goes straight. In case of rib stitches, in case of the half cardigan stitches, it doesn't torque on the garment, on the panel. So this links and links stitchy way is also nice options. And if you like these twisting characters, so I'd like to show you these stitches. So in these stitches we use only Masdevallia, but in different way. This green part we use the S and Z knitted together in the plain stitches one by one. After that we use only Z twist on plain stitch, on plain stitch. After that, this part we needed a 14 gauge in normal version, and after that there is a S green part at the beginning. We use S and Z one each in 14 gauge normal version. After that we need it in a 14 gauge one by one. So that's why it looks a little bit seared. After this we need it in Masdevallia two ends of the S twist. So this part Z, this part S and Z, this part S. So Z, S and Z, S. S and Z, Z, S and Z, S. And in this case, it will be balanced very well in the end. And so this combination between S and Z and Z, either or only S or only Z, gives the nice crinkle weights on this. So if you use other yarns, basic merino wool, it doesn't appear in this way. So please try in this yarn for the stitches. Next is Zeane. Okay, so these are the colors, 21 colors here. And let's have a look at the stitches. It is knitted in a 14 gauge in plain stitch. Let's have a look at the stitches. It is knitted in a 14 gauge in plain stitch. And this part, there is a difference for this part and this part. Can you see that? This part is knitted in one end, and this part knitted in two ends. It looks more compact. And the great point of this character is stretch. The composition of this yarn is 50% of washable wool and 50% polyester, but this is not cheap, the branded wool polyester yarn. Actually, this is a combination between the super fine merino and the very nice character stretchy polyester yarns. Each yarn are twisted together. That's why you feel very soft and smooth, and it's very comfortable on your skin because of super fine merino and great stretch of the polyester. If you like these stretch characters, I'd like to recommend you these stitches. It is knitted in 12 gauge, and we use the Zeane, this yarn, and the svate. Svate is a dull bright metallic yarn, and we use the 2 ends of Zeane and 1 end of the black metallic yarn svate. It looks like a cable stitch, but actually this is not. This is a way of the links and link stitches. As you can see, this white part, we knitted only the Zeane as a white part, we use a front bed. And after that, we use the back bed for the spade, the metallic yarn. Front bed, single jersey, back bed, front single jersey, like this way. But if you compare with the basic cotton yarn or wool yarn, it doesn't stand up so much. Because this yarn has a great stretch, that's why finally it shrinks a lot. Then finally each stitch stands up very well. So can you see that how it is? So if you like these characters, please try. And next one is Aube Fine. Okay, this is the colors of Aube Fine. And Aube Fine is made of the wool and the linen. As you can see that. Machine washable wool, extra fine merino, and linen yarn. And there's a 57% of linen. However, if you touch it, it looks, its hands feels like more wool actually. However, it gives a nice natural effect, but not too casual. It's still, how can I say, elegant way. However, a little bit casual, a little bit natural. And this is very good for the fine gauge, like 14 gauge or 16 gauge in this yarn. And if you like this natural effect, I'd like to recommend you this combination between the Aube Fine and Aztec in the 12 gauge. Also, the Aztec is made of linen and alpaca yarn and the big slough yarn. In the cable patterns, actually this is not cable stitches. Can you see the slough part? This is because of the Aztec mohair linen alpaca yarn. And this navy part is Aube Fine. So this slightly uneven aspect gives you a nice natural effect. Or there's nice 3 different yarns to give the natural effect. So Aube Fine and tea silk and this and Aztec as we use in the previous stitches. And this orange part is Aztec, and this part is a combination between the silk yarn, tea silk, and Aube Fine. So this brown yarn has a nice color nap, so it gives a nice tweedy look with the Aube Fine. And then this orange part has an irregular thickness. So I mean the slough yarn. So if finally this orange color is also nice accent of the stitches. This is a real cable stitch, and this old-fashioned cable stitch gives you the nice effect, and the hands feel still dry. It looks like warm, but it's very dry. So please try it and feel it if you like it. And next one is double and double fine. And this is the colors of the double and double fine. So we use the common characters for 2 articles. And let's have a look at stitches. A double is a double 12, and double fine is double 30. So you can choose double or double fine, depends on what gauge you need. The character of both yarns is a high twisted wool, and it has very dry hands feel, but not itchy. It's quite comfortable on your skin in the summertime especially. And this one as well. And even in case of the high twisted wool, like a Masdevallia, but it doesn't twist on the garment, it doesn't torque, so it goes straight. So you don't need to worry about it, even in case of the plain stitches. And another great point of this yarn is lightness and also the very strong textures. So in case of the cable stitches, please have a look this cable stitch. So there's an accent line in it. This is the Udine polyester yarn, and we needed the cable stitch in the 5 gauge. Please have a look at these cables. Can you see that? It's not flat anymore because of the character of the double, and it's so lightweight, and it has very masculine characters. Also, it can be nice way for the chunky sweaters in the cable stitch. Or I'd like to recommend you in this way also. This is a combination between the cross tuck stitches, and we use the polyester yarn again, Udine. This lime color is Udine, and red colors, can you see red colors also? And dark red colors is the double. And hand feels really comfortable on your skin, especially springtime, summertime, even in the pre-fall time, I suppose. And it's so light. So even in case of chunky sweaters, it's gonna be lighter weight than the basic merino wool. Okay, then let's look at the fine gauge. So we need it in a 14 gauge and the links and link stitches. And because of this yarn is twisted a lot, so it can be shrinked quite easily. Then finally this links and links patterns gonna be shrinked a lot. Actually it is originally these patterns. Can you see that? And finally it shrinks in this way because of the high twisted wool. And this one is also very lightweight and hands feels very dry but comfortable on your skin. And then this pattern is also, can you see that? This is a combination between single jersey and single jersey 1x1. In this way, it looks nice and gorgeous. This is also very nice beginning of spring, beginning of autumn, even in summertime also. And that's it. And next one is K-wave and cut wave. Let's have a look. So this is the colors of the K-wave, and this is the color for the cut wave. So these are like brothers. The different point is raw material. K-wave is made of the wool, cut wave is made of the cotton. Both are 100% each. And can you see the shape of this yarn? It looks very wavy look, and it gives a very dry hands feel on the skin. So it's very nice for the summertime. This cut wave also. So let's have a look at the stitches. The yarn shape of the K wave and cut wave is almost same. So please have a look at the plain stitches. This is just plain stitches, single jerseys. However, it gives a different effect on it, and it's very nice dry hands feel on it. Cut wave is also in this phase. In my opinion, cut wave gives a little bit drier hands feel. So I'd like to recommend you these yarn and knit it in a plain stitch. Even the plain stitch also really nice. However, if you'd like to try other stitches, this tubular jacket is also nice. Can you see that this is the combination between a K-wave and a mocci pack, and the yellow part comes from mocci pack and the gray color comes from the K-wave. Can you see the difference between the yellow part and the gray part? So yellow part is very flat and compact because of mocci pack, and the gray part is a K-wave and it gives a little bit crepey effect. And you can enjoy the different hands feel on it. And if you like the dry hands feel a lot, I'd like to recommend you in these open work stitches. This is a combination between a K-wave and Andle. Andle is a dull bright dry metallic yarn. The white color comes from the K-wave and the black color comes from the Andle. And this open work stitches gives a much nicer dry hands feel, good for the summertime. Okay, and then let's have a look at stitches of the cut wave. Yeah, I'd like to recommend you this a lot. I mean, half cardigan stitches. This is a combination between the cut wave and T-silk. T-silk has a nice color nap, so it gives a nice tweedy look. And in case with half cardigan stitches, the cut wave is gonna be much drier than plain stitch. And it looks very beautiful stitches, as you can see. Or this links and links cable pattern stitches. This is again, so not cable stitches. The white part comes from the cut wave, and can you see the black and red colors comes from the Udine, the polyester yarns. And we use the polyester yarn as a back bed, and we use the cut wave white yarn as a front bed in this way. And you know, there is a color difference, this is a bright difference between cotton and polyester yarn. Polyester yarn has a little bit slightly shiny, so it gives a nice difference between this and this. And still nice characters. And in case of if you use Udine has very good stretch. So after you knit it, it shrinks a little bit, but in this case, each stitch stands up very well. So it looks very three-dimensional look on it. Please try this combination also. Next one is Coline. This is the colors of the Coline, and this is the 3 colors, and we have the space dyed colors also as a stock service. Let's have a look at the stitches. Coline is made of the 100% cotton, but it's a little bit crazy yarn actually. So this is a cat fabric. We cut the cotton woven fabric. After that, we sew in the middle. That's why, so it doesn't break during the knit. Actually, so this kind of yarn can be available in the world. However, other yarns are just cutted fabric. Nobody sew on in the middle. So it's very strong enough. Then, okay, let's have a look at these stitches. This is a combination between the Coline and the Shalkiiya Boucle. This yellow color is the Shalkiiya Boucle in this way. Red Coline and yellow Shalkiiya Boucle, white Coline, black Coline in this way. So this aspect of this yarn is very unusual from the others. So even in a plain stitch or rib stitches or simple stitch, it can be fine. Just for your reference, this is a plain stitch, but there's a difference between this part and this part, this part and this part. Actually, white part is knitted in the 1x1 plain stitch. This black part is 3x3. Red part is 1x1. White part is 3x3. Black part is 1x1. In this way, these stripes between 1x1 and 3 and 3, and multicolors, but it looks very special. In case of these stitches, this is a half cardigan stitches and the combination between the Coline, blue colors, and Harmony, white colors. It gives a nice effect. It looks like a denim. And the half cardigan stitches 1x1. So can you see the difference between half cardigan stitches and plain stitches? If you like this reference, so I can send it to you, so please just ask for the swatches. Next one is the Mocci brothers, moccimen, moccise, and mocci. This is the color of the moccimen here, and the next one is the moccise, then the mocci. And then let me introduce a bit difference between the moccimen, the mocci, and the moccise. Moccimen is made of the cotton polyester, and this is great for the middle gauge, a 7 gauge or 5 gauge, or if you pry up, 3 gauge can be also fine. And nice dry touch hands feel. And then the mocci pack, it's made of the mohair, and the hair is mohair, so it's not hairy so much, and polyester. And this is great for the chunky sweaters. I recommend you 3 gauge or 5 gauge. And moccise, it's made of the cotton, silk, and polyester. And this is nice for the fine gauge, especially 12, 14 gauge. And all of them has a great stretch. And it gives you very nice compact look. Can you see the plain stitch in this way, fine gauge? And in the 5 gauge mocci pack also has a great stretch in this way. And also moccimen. Moccimen is one of the best sellers in a spring summer collection. It has the most compact look. Can you see that each stitch is very beautiful, and it has great stretch as well. Then let's have a look at other stitches. This is a combination between a moccimen and svate. The green color comes from the moccimen, and this silver color, silver metallic yarn, comes from the svate. After you knit it in this way, the links and links. So we use the green color moccimen as a front bed, plain stitches, and we knitted the silver colors as a back bed and svate. And it has also, even in case of this stitches, it has nice stretch, and each stitch stands up very well. Please have a look this way. And I really recommend you to knit moccimen in a cable stitch. Can you see this one? And for your reference, we have the same stitches, same cable stitches in Aube Fine. I have shown you Aube Fine, TCO, Aztec. But in this case, we have used the moccimen and the Shalkiiya, Japanese paper yarn, as a plating way. So this beige color comes from the moccimen, and this これ何色って言えばいいの？あ、ごめん、これ今のそのままじゃあその続けちゃおう。This lighter color comes from the moccimen, and this darker color comes from the Shalkiiya. Can you see that? Lighter color is moccimen. Please have a look at the difference. It is very different. Moccimen has a very good stretch. Very good stretch. That's why after you knit cable stitch, it looks more three-dimensional. It looks very 3D look. Can you see the same stitches of Aube Fine? This is completely different. Yeah, of course, I don't know which one you will like it, but if you like these textures, you must choose a moccimen. And let's look at some other stitches of moccise. Moccise is made of a cotton, silk, polyester yarn, as I explained to you. And this is a combination between moccise and Munik. This darker part is made of the moccise, and the lighter colors, lighter green color, comes from the Munik. Munik, moccise, Munik, moccise. Can you see the difference? Darker colors looks more three-dimensional effect, and the lighter color doesn't have so much. Can you see the difference between this and this? And the difference, this difference is caused by the stretch difference. Munik doesn't have stretch so much, but moccise has stretch a lot. That's why it shrink more. Actually, so we have knitted in the same patterns and same numbers of the knitting, same rows, same numbers of rows. However, it looks, narrower than the Munik because of the shrinkage of the Munik. Because of the shrinkage of the moccise. So it gives a nice effect if you like in case of links and link stitches. And let's have a look at mocci pack. Mocci pack has also done in links and links stitches, and this is a combination between the mocci pack and K-wave. K-wave, it comes from this gray part, and this navy part comes from the mocci pack. This is also, can you see the difference? Three-dimensional effect difference between the K-wave and mocci pack. Navy color doesn't look clearly so much, however it shrinks more and it looks more three-dimensional look. And it gives very masculine touch, however hands feels really dry and comfortable. In case of the cable stitches, yeah, cable stitching would be one of the best knitting way in case of the mochi brothers. This is a combination between a mochi pack and a svate. Svate is metallic yarn. Can you see the metallic part here? This part is mochi pack. This shiny part is the svate, different yarn, another yarns. And this cable stitches is also very nice. If you compare with Aube Fine, please have a look at the difference. And just for your reference, this is a mocci pack, and this is the moccimen. Moccimen gives a more solid effect, and it looks a little bit fluffy because of mohair. Of course, this is more de-haired mohair, but it's slightly fluffy if you compare with moccimen. And that's it. And next one is falico. This is the colors of falico, and falico is 100% cotton yarn. Can you see that? And however, it's completely different from the other basic cotton. It's completely dry, and we have done very special dry treatment on this yarn, so that's why you feel very dry hands feel on it. Maybe it hurts you a little bit. But if you like super dry cotton, this one would be the nice solutions. And the good point of this yarn, another good point of this yarn is the strong textures. It stays the shape of the garment even if you hang it up. However, if you feel too dry, but if you like the strong textures, another solution would be the knitting with our mohair silk, Reine ⅱ. We have the links and links stitches in a plaiting way. This is a combination between falico and Reine ⅱ. And can you see the white part comes from the falico, very dry cotton yarns. And this blue part, it comes from the Reine ⅱ mohair silk. As I explained to you, the Reine ⅱ makes everything smoother. So hands feels much smoother in this way. Can you see the mohair hairs? It's very smooth and soft. However, it has very strong textures. In this way. So I really like this combination also. Very hard yarn and very soft yarns. Each yarn has very good points. And if you like the dry hands feel characters, and I'd like to recommend you in these stitches also. This is a combination between a falico and the tea silk. This mustard colors comes from falico, and this brown colors comes from the tea silk. As I explained to you before, the tea silk gives you the nice tweedy effect, and okay, in this case, the still dry hands feel. Can you see the difference? This combination and this combination. Mohair silk or silk only. And you can choose what you like, but the falico will be the nice options to express the completely different cotton sweaters in the spring-summer collections. Next is Fuuga single 44 and single 52. This is the color card of Fuuga, so we have got the common color card for the single 44 and single 52. And let's have a look at the stitches. This is a single 44 and this is single 52. these are the finest mohair in our collections, and these Fuugas gonna change the image of the mohair. So basically speaking, the aspect of the plain stitches of mohair is quite irregular. So that's why the people have an image of the quite casual to mohair. However, please have a look at the stitches of plain stitch in this way. It looks so elegant and so smooth and soft on your skin. This is single 52 and this is single 44. It's almost the same, and you can choose what you like. And if you feel it's too sensitive or too sheer, I'd like to recommend you in this way. This is a combination between a cotton soft and Fuuga, and we just knit it together. In this case, the hands feel is just mohair. It's very soft and smooth. However, it's not sheer anymore because of the cotton yarn. And it is knitted in a 14 gauge and one end and one end. And this is a combination between a Harmony and Fuuga. As you can see, the red color comes from the Fuuga and white color comes from Harmony. And as I explained to you before, the Harmony has a strong texture, so it still keeps a strong texture. However, hands feel is a little smooth on your skin. So I'd like to recommend you in this way. Or, this is a good example. This is a tubular jacket between Fuuga and 9K212 metallic yarn. I mean, the silver colors and gold color comes from the 9K212, and this navy colors comes from the Fuuga. Please have a look. It's so elegant, and it's slightly hairy, so it doesn't go casual so much. Hands feel is just elegant. And let's have a look at the back side also. This part also can be used as outerwear. And the last one is, okay, let's have a look. This is a combination between the Fuuga and Udine polyester yarn. It has good stretch. And the navy color comes from the Fuuga and the white color comes from the Udine. As you can see, it's a little bit shrinked effect because of the Udine. Actually, this stitches is a combination between a single jacquard and a tubular jacquard. As you can see, this part is a tubular jacquard. And slightly it looks like a wavy look. Because, this stretchy on white color polyester shrinks quite a lot rather than more than Fuuga. In this case, Fuuga stands up more, and the polyester one stays as a flat. This is also a good way to use. And next is Reine Ⅱ. This is the colors of the Reine Ⅱ. Actually, we have changed the color codes, so please try the new colors also. And let's have a look at the stitches. Reine Ⅱ is the best quality of mohair in our collections. So unfortunately you cannot touch it, so please ask us for the shade curves or stitches if you would like it. This is knitted in a 7 gauge, one end, and this Reine Ⅱ also, it looks very elegant and it looks very even if you compare with other mohair in this way, and it's quite more hairy look aspect. And I'd like to propose you in this way this time. So this lace stitch looks the concept of this lace stitch is more modern, elegant. Basically speaking, this kind of stitches can be quite elegant, but because of the moccimen, so we use the moccimen and Reine Ⅱ, we just knit it together. So moccimen gives them quite modern aspect, but still there are hairs of the mohair. Moccimen has got a good character of the stretch, and it shrinked, so that's why it looks quite compact lace stitches. But there is a mohair here. The hands feel very soft and smooth. So it's gonna be the new proposal for the lace stitches. And last one is the combination of the Reine Ⅱ and moccimen again. This is a tubular jacquard. It's not so easy to see, but the black color comes from the moccimen and navy color comes from the Reine Ⅱ. And the hands feel very smooth and soft, and it's very compact. and it has quite strong texture on it, but still lightweight. It is knitted in a 7 gauge, 1 end and 1 end. This is also very nice combination, so please try this combination also. Next is cotton soft. This is the colors of the cotton soft, so we have quite a lot of colors for the stock service. And let's have a look at the stitches. The cotton soft is made of 100% of cotton, and as you can imagine, it's soft because of the name, cotton soft. The yarn count is single 36. This is a single yarn, but as you can see, it goes straight, and it looks very smart and flat at all because of special spinning processes. So this is 1% cotton. However, so there's very special spinning way. There is a very fine cotton yarn as inside, and we wrap the cotton fiber on it. So the external part of this yarn is just fiber. We don't twist a lot. That's why hands feel very soft and smooth, but very good for the peeling. And then because of this spinning way, after you knit in plain stitch 1 end, it looks so flat and uneven. Sorry, very even. This one is knitted in 14 gauge, and it can be knitted in a 16 gauge 1 end in this way, and the 18 gauge is also fine to knit. I'd like to recommend you, these gauges 14, 16, and 18. And I don't recommend you to knit 2 ends or 3 ends because this one is a single yarn. So after you knit single yarn, so it will be much more flat, even if you compare with a double 50 or triple 50 like other regular cotton yarn. So if you are looking for the very elegant cotton and soft cotton yarn, so this one would be the best solution. So please try. Next one is a high twist cotton, Keshi, Ruby, and Munik. So let's have a look at the colors of 3 articles. This is the color card of Keshi, so we have quite a lot of colors. And this is the color card of Ruby. Can you see the difference between this and this? So can you see the difference between the Keshi and Ruby? So Ruby has the more darker colors actually. And the last one is the color card of Munik. We have 21 colors here. Okay, and then let me explain to you the difference between the 3 articles. Okay. Please have a look here. So Keshi is a single 68 and high twisted cotton, and Ruby is also high twisted cotton, but the yarn count is a little bit thicker, single 51. Both of them quite fine. The difference between the Keshi and Ruby is the Keshi is more twisted cotton yarn, so it can be drier. So Ruby can be quite a little bit softer than Keshi. So please have a look at these stitches. As you can see, we have the S twist and Z twist. This is a torsion difference. Okay, so this is the stripes between the yellow and white. And the yellow part is a Z twist, and the white part is knitted in a S twist. Z, S, Z, S, Z, S, Z, S. This is just stripes of plain stitches. So please have a look at the edge of the stitches. It's going to be like a zigzag. In case of Ruby, it's also the same. The navy part comes from the Z, and the white part comes from the S. ZS, ZS, ZS. This is a difference. And the other difference between the navy color and the white color is the navy part is knitted in the 2 ends, and white color is knitted in the 1 end. So white color can be a little bit more sheared. Navy color looks more darker. Then what's gonna happen when you knit, for example, links and links? The pattern of these link stitches is originally these patterns. If you knit the basic cotton yarn, so finally the aspect would be like this. But this yarn is very high twisted cotton, so in this case it has a great stretch. So after you knit, it can be shrinked in this way. So finally it looks more three-dimensional look, like this way. And okay. And these two stitches are very similar. However, please let me explain to you the difference between this and this. This is a combination between a rib stitch and garter stitches. Can you see that? This is a plating. This is a rib stitch in this way. And this part is a garter stitches in this way. And if you compare these stitches and these stitches, these are, okay, this part is quite regular squares. However, these stitches is quite unusual, irregular square. Can you see that? Because of the young characters, this one is, so as I explained to you that this is a plating stitches. So front side we use only S, back side we use only Z. In this case, S and Z can be balanced very well after you knit. However, in case of this one, we knitted only Z for the front bed and back beds. In this case, Z and Z. In this case, so it's gonna be the quite unbalanced squares after you knit it. So this one also can be nice challenges if you want to try. And the last one is a Munik. Munik is also the high twisted cotton and silk is blended. This is very good for the fine gauge, 14 gauge or 16 gauge. The yarn count is a double 50. This is also quite elegant and nice aspect. Very clean look. And the hands feels very dry, so it's very good for the summertime and under the humidity situation. And then this is a quite good example to mix. This is a combination between a Munik and Aztec. Aztec is a, as you can see, alpaca linen nylon yarn, and it has big slab yarns. If you knit in this way, we just knit together in this way. This is the back side of the panel. Let's have a look at the front side. And in this case, you know, the big slabs comes out back side. So we use this panel as a front. So can you see that this part? Okay, this part is because of the Aztec of the characters. It is in this case it doesn't shear, and the hands feel dry, very comfortable to wear on your skin. And it gives very nice natural effect. This one also nice combination. And next one is Japanese paper yarn, Shalkiiya and Shalkiiya Boucle. The next one is the color of the Shalkiiya and Shalkiiya Boucle. As you can see, Shalkiiya Boucle is a Boucle yarn because of the name. Can you see the Boucle effect in this way? And Shalkiiya, it looks like, okay, this is a combination between the Japanese paper and the viscose. So can you see the color and the brightness difference between the Japanese paper and the viscose? So it gives different effect. Then let's have a look at the stitches. This is a plain stitch of Shalkiiya. And because this is the stripes between one end and two ends. And in 12 gauge. In case of one end, it can be sheared, but two ends it's not so much. And this is the combination of Japanese paper of viscose. It would be quite a nice combination because Japanese paper is quite dry. Some people say it's too dry on the skin. So in this, if you twist with the viscose, it gives a nice hand feel. I mean, just dry, just comfortable on your skin. And even a 7 gauge or 5 gauge can be very good because Japanese paper is very light. This one is knitted in a 5 gauge and the 3 colors are knitted together in this way in the cross-stack stitches. The great point of this stitch is the very strong textures and so lightweight. and very comfortable on your skin. This will be very good for the summertime. Or it can be knitted in this way also. This is a combination between Shalkiiya and Cotto. So Cotto has a quite nice wavy look, and Shalkiiya gives it a nice dry hands feel. This is a good combination for the lace stitches. Then let's look at the Shalkiiya Boucle. This is the aspect of the plain stitch, but it's already a fancy look. Please have a look at the aspect this way. In my opinion, the Shalkiiya Boucle would be more dry than the Shalkiiya. Then this one would be the good way to use. This is a tubular jacket between Shalkiiya Boucle, Shalkiiya and Reine Ⅱ. This black part is a Shalkiiya Boucle. So can you see this is a Boucle part, and white part is a combination between a Shalkiiya and the Reine Ⅱ silk mohair. So can you see the hairs? Hairs are from the Reine Ⅱ. The reason why we developed these stitches is the Shalkiiya Boucle gives a nice dry hands feel. However, people say it would be quite dry, and some people think it's quite harsh. In this case, the front side looks nice, fancy look. However, back side, we use only the Shalkiiya and the Reine Ⅱ here. So mostly people feel only Reine Ⅱ on your skin. So this white part can be used as back side, and the front side can be this aspect. This will be nice outerwear. And next one is Aztec. This is colors of Aztec. So these are basically the natural colors, so it can be very good for natural look. So let's have a look at the stitches. First of all, this is a plain stitch, but stripes pattern, and the white part, white colors and navy colors. The difference between this and this is, can you please have a look? This is one end, and this part is two ends. So as the Aztec, it's alpaca linen nylon yarn, and there's a big slough randomly comes out. But in case of one end, in case of looser stitches, the big slough part comes out more and more. But in case of tighter stitches, because this is a 2 ends 7 gauge, the big slough part doesn't come out so much. So you can enjoy the difference of the size difference of slough yarn. Okay, then let's look at the next one. This is a combination between Aztec and Shalkiiya Japanese paper viscose yarn. So as you can see, the Aztec is quite short if you knit in 7 gauge. But if you play up with the Japanese paper viscose yarn, it doesn't go sheer so much. And the hands feel is quite strong texture because of Japanese papers. Then hands feel is quite nice because of the alpaca. Alpaca gives a smoother hands feel. And last stitches is a combination between Aztec and Aube Fine. This black part comes from the Aube Fine, and this gray color comes from the Aztec. Can you see the difference between black color and gray colors? Gray color gives a nice three-dimensional effect because of the slough yarn, and the black color is Aube Fine wool linen yarn, so it's very flat. So it would be very nice checked patterns. If you use two different yarn, it would be very good to give new proposals. Next one is tea silk. This is the color grade of tea silk. So please have a look at the colors. So there are quite a lot of color naps in it. So it gives a very nice tweedy look. So basically speaking, it's very nice to mix with something else. So to be honest, I don't recommend you to knit only tea silk, 1 end or 2 ends. This one is a 7 gauge 2 ends. The reason why I don't recommend you using only this yarn is a little bit too soft and a little bit too sticky on your skin. Probably you don't feel comfortable on it. So, but the good point of this tea silk is it makes everything softer, and it gives a nice 3D effect. For example, let's have a look at this one. This is a combination between the tea silk and Keshi. Can you see that this white color and black color comes from the Keshi 100% cotton yarn, and this brown color comes from the tea silk. And it gives very nice tweed. Look. And basically speaking, Keshi is very dry cotton, but after you knit with tea silk, it gives a softness. So probably you feel quite comfortable on your skin. So it can be knitted in a 12 gauge, so fine gauge. Or I'd like to recommend you the 7 gauge or 5 gauge. For example, this one is knitted in a 5 gauge. 4 ends of tea silk and 1 end of the Shalkiiya Japanese paper. Japanese paper gives the strong textures and lightness. Please have a look at this one. This is 4 ends of charcoal colors and 1 end of lime colors. This color combination would be very nice in case of just 1 end of lime colors. I can say it can be like a new classic look. And in half cardigan stitches, sorry. And this is a combination between the tea silk and Shalkiiya again. This is the half cardigan stitches again, but half cardigan stitch 2 by 2. So please have a look at the difference between 1 by 1 and 2 by 2. There's a difference aspect. And I need to add some more information about tea silk. This is a recycled silk yarn, so it can be more ecological. So this one would be another reason to try this yarn. But please try to mix with something else for your new development. And next one is polyester yarn, Alessandria, Piacenza, and Udine. So let's have a look at the colors of the 3 polyester yarn. So first of all, this is the color card of Alessandria. We have quite a big color card. So there are 2 pages and 4 pages in total. Quite a lot of colors. And next one is the Piacenza. These colors and also this one. So, and the last one is the Udine. This one. So please let me explain to you the difference of 3 different yarns. First of all, Alessandria, it's a basic polyester yarns. And dull bright and hands feels quite so-so and quite good stretch. And on the other hand, Piacenza, it's quite shiny, look, and the hands feels quite dry, and it doesn't have stretch so much. And Udine is quite smooth and soft, and it has quite a good stretch, greatest stretch. So actually 3 different yarns. There is, so each yarn has the same composition and the same yarn count, and everything is knitted in 12 gauge. But as you can see, it looks completely different, and completely different look, completely different hands feel, different stretch. So please choose what you like. And this is a plain stitch. So let's have a look at the links. Maybe you can see more character difference. This one is Alessandria, this is Piacenza, and Udine. So please have a look at the brightness, the shine difference. The middle one is Piacenza, it's the most shiny one. And if you see the shrinkage of these 3, okay, let's have a look at the difference between the Piacenza and Udine. Udine shrinked more because of the stretch, so it looks more 3-dimensional look if you compare with the Piacenza. So Alessandria is always middle. So okay. So if I speak about the hands feel, Udine is the softest and the Piacenza is the hardest. Alessandria is middle. In case of the brightness, Piacenza is the most shiny, Udine is dull bright, Alessandria is the middle all the time. So please enjoy what you like. And let's look at the other stitches. This one is a combination between Alessandria and Prato in the links and link stitches, but it looks like the cable patterns. So orange color comes from the Prato. Prato is a very fine woven tape, and the white color comes from the Alessandria polyester. Hand feels quite dry. And next one is a combination between a Piacenza and a moccise. Moccise is a cotton silk yarn, and it has very good stretch for the fine gauge. So this tubular jacket is knitted in 12 gauge, two ends of the red colors Piacenza, and one end of black color moccise. Can you see the difference between the red color and the black colors? So moccise has a good stretch, so it looks more compact look, but the Piacenza looks a little bit sheared. So you can see the difference, and you can enjoy the difference between the black color and red colors. And there's the back side. The black color is a cotton silk stretch yarn, and red color is a Piacenza. And last one is a jacket between Udine and FURTO. Please have a look at this one. This FURTO is a very fine chenille yarn, and black color comes from this yarn. And can you see the white, red, blue colors? There's a Udine. This will be a very good combination. It's really soft and smooth, and it looks very, how can I say, this is a combination between high-tech materials and old-fashioned patterns. It will be a nice proposal for new development. Next one is woven tape yarn, Siracusa and Taranto. The colors of the Siracusa and Taranto. So both of them looks quite similar, but let me explain to you the difference between these yarns. So first of all, Siracusa and Taranto, both of them are woven tape yarn, but please have a look. The Siracusa is the tighter woven tape. How, on the other hand, Taranto is a looser woven tape. It's looser, it looks looser, yeah. This is the difference. And what's gonna happen, the difference, after you knit? So first of all, this is a Siracusa, and this is Taranto. We have done the same patterns, actually. So this is knitted in a 5 gauge, one end. And this part is just plain stitch. And this part is the plain stitch with drop needles. This is the difference. This one is also the same, plain stitch with drop needles, plain stitch with drop needles. These are stripes. So let's look at the difference. This is Siracusa. Basically speaking, Siracusa is a tighter woven tape, so it can be a little bit dry and hard. And Taranto is a looser woven tape, so it's a soft and smooth. And there is quite a different aspect between the Siracusa and Taranto, especially if you knit in plain stitch with the drop needles part. Please have a look here and here. Then next stitches are also the same patterns. This is the Siracusa, and this is the Taranto. Okay, so this is a combination between Siracusa and Piacenza. Can you see the white, red colors? This comes from Piacenza, and the black color comes from Siracusa. And this stitches is between 1 by 1, 1 by 1, and 3 by 3 plain stitch. In case of the 1 by 1, so we ply up with the Piacenza as a yarn. And in case of the 3 by 3, so we knitted only the Siracusa. And you know, this is a woven tape, so it can be very nice to knit 1 by 1 or 3 by 3 in this way. And this is a combination between Taranto and Alessandria. The beige color comes from the Taranto. And can you see the white colors, yellow colors, and the black colors comes from the Alessandria polyester yarns. This is also same patterns, 1 by 1 and 3 by 3. This is stripes between 1 by 1 and 3 by 3. very nice, especially for example, like my pullover or cardigan. And next one is a fancy yarn for the fine gauge, Prato and FURTO. So these are the fancy yarn for the fine gauge, 12 gauge or 14 gauge. And this is the colors of FURTO, single 20. And this is the colors of the Prato, single 14. The FURTO is a very fine chenille yarn. Can you see that? Chenille for the fine gauge. And this is a Prato. It's a very fine woven tape. Please have a look. It's a woven tape, but it's very fine. And let's have a look at the stitches. So we have done the same patterns in a Prato, in a FURTO. Please have a look. So this is knitted in a 12 gauge. And can you see the stripes, this and this? And this is the stripes of the, okay, this is a plain stitch of 12 gauge. This is also plain stitch, but the drop needles. After you knit, it looks very nice stripes. So drop needled part can be a little bit sheared. And on the other hand, it's the same pattern, 12 gauge, one end of FURTO. It's quite not so easy to see, but this part is a plain stitch, and this part is plain stitch with drop needles, plain stitch, drop needle, plain stitch, drop needles. And it's a great point of the FURTO. It gives a really nice softness, and it doesn't go so sheared very well. So I would like to recommend you to knit only this yarn, also nice. Prato is quite drier than the FURTO, so please choose whatever you like. Then I'd like to recommend you these stitches also. This is a tubular jacket between the FURTO and Munik. This yellow color comes from the FURTO and navy color comes from the Munik. Can you see the difference? The yellow chenille and the navy part is very flat cotton silk yarns. And you feel only the maybe per FURTOs. But you know, the FURTO is quite soft, sometimes too soft. Not, it can go, maybe it goes drapey a little bit too much sometimes. So in this case, if you knit with very strong, dry cotton yarn, it will be the very good combinations. That's it. Last category is metallic yarn in 4 different qualities: 9K212, Andle, Spade, and Cassette. So these are the colors of the metallic yarn. So first of all, this is 9K212, and next one is Andle, and last one is Spade. So everything is fine for the everything is used for the fine gauge. And let me explain to you the difference between the three different yarns. So 9K212 is very fine. So yarn count is a single 180 and very shiny colors, really sensitive. And the Andle is the dull bright, so it doesn't go so shiny, but it looks very vintage look. And it's quite dry. And the Spade, it's not so shiny, but not dull bright. This is a combination between real cell and metallic yarns. So can you see the difference between the colors and also the shine brightness? And let's look at the stitches. So first of all, this is a 9K212. So as I explained to you, this is very fine. So single 180. And can you see these stripes? This part is knitted in 2 ends, and this part knitted in 5 ends. And after you knit, maybe you're gonna steam it. After you steam it, each stitch is shrinked. That's why, so even in a plain stitch, it goes this effect. Quite fancy look. And this is a plain stitch of the Andle. So if you compare the 9K212, it doesn't go so shiny, and the hands feels quite dry, but not too harsh on your skin. Then last one is Spade. Spade is I'd like to recommend you to knit only this yarn only, because very soft and smooth, very comfortable on your skin, very good for the fine gauge, and slightly shine. So this is a difference between 3 different articles. So this is the finest one, and the yarn count of Andle is a single 42, and the yarn count of Svate is single 43. So both of them are quite similar yarn count, but hands feel is completely different, and the aspect is also very different, as you can see. Both of them are knitted in a 14 gauge, but very different look. We have done the same pattern of single jacquard, 9K212, Andle, and Svate. So everything is knitted in a 12 gauge, single jacquard. Then you can see the difference. And the blood colors are also, everything is different. So first of all, 9K212 and Fuuga. Black color comes from the Fuuga and gold color comes from 9K212. It looks very gorgeous and elegant look. And so light and so elegant. And then in case of this one, this is a combination between Aube Fine and Andle. Black color comes from Aube Fine and the gold color comes from Andle. The concept of these stitches is really dry for the summertime. So if you compare with this and this one would be more like a winter look, but it can be good for the pre-spring collections. And this one would be the good for the summertime. So hands feel will be also different. And it looks more like a masculine aspect. And the last one is Svate. This is a combination between a Svate and the moccimen, moccise, sorry. And the gold color comes from the Svate, and the black color comes from the moccise. Moccise has a great stretch, so can you see the black color? It looks very compact. And the gold color comes out a little bit and a little bit sheared. So please have a look at the difference between Andle. This is the difference. We have done completely same patterns, but we changed the yarn. We use a different yarn each. Yes, please choose what you like. And okay, next one is the jacquard again. This is the jacquard between the 9K212 and Munik. Can you see that this is really gorgeous, elegant? The gold color and silver color comes from 9K212, and the navy color comes from the Munik cotton silk yarn. So please have a look at the difference. And because of the shrinkage of each yarn are different, that's why it gives a three-dimensional look after you knit. Okay, then finally last one, I'm gonna show you the very fancy metallic yarn, Cassette. Can you imagine that why we named it Cassette? It looks like the cassette tape. So let me show you the color, first. These are colors of the Cassette. Please have a look at the detail of the yarn. This is a combination between a metallic tape and Japanese paper tape, and we twist with the viscose. In case of white color, can you see that the shiny color comes from metallic tape and dull bright color comes from the Japanese paper? These are combinations. And basically speaking, Cassette is very dry because of the, we cut the metallic tape in this width, so it's quite hard if you compare with the other yarn. So that's why we'd like to recommend you to mix with something else. This one would be the good solution to give the good point of the Cassette. So this one is a combination between Cassette and Reine Ⅱ mohair silk. Please have a look at this one. It looks very elegant and gorgeous. And the hands feel very soft and smooth. If you compare with this, please have a look. Please have a look. Very different. And if you feel, too feminine for these stitches, I can recommend you these stitches also. This is a combination between a Cassette and Udine. And black color comes from the Udine, and the silver part comes from the Cassette. It looks quite masculine, but it's not hot. Probably it's wearable. Please have a look at the difference. this one and this one. I don't recommend you to wear this pattern, but this one would be very good for the jacket, for example. And you know, the great point of this yarn is that, you know, it keeps the shape of the garment because of the strong texture of Japanese papers. So there are 3 options to try Cassette. Yeah, that's it. How was the new collection? Did you enjoy it? If you have any question, please contact me or Maria or Hiroko. So we're gonna reply immediately. So luckily we haven't been affected much by COVID-19 and have been able to keep as usual. So all of members of satoseni are fine at all and we are open every day. So please don't hesitate to contact us. So we hope to be able to be a good supplier for you. So please stay safe and we hope to be able to see you soon. I wish you all a great year this year and thank you so much. Bye bye.